Thanks everyone for joining our overview of polar organizations for early career scientists, hosted by the Polar Science Early Career Community Office, or PSECCO. We are going to kick off the event with a few introductions and then we will dive straight in. I'm Mariama Dryak Valleys. I'm the director for the Polar Science Early Career Community Office. I'll be helping with tech support today. We're also joined by Madison Payne, who's the Prosecco event coordinator, who's been communicating with you all. She's going to be hosting the event and making sure everything goes smoothly. And we also have Karina Shell on the call, who's going to be acting as tech support. So if you run into any issues, you can message either Karina or myself as we go along. At the core of Prosecco is building welcoming environments. And so we expect that all attendees on the call will adhere to Prosecco's community guidelines when interfacing with others on the call and in the chat. Karina's pasted a link in the chat to remind you of the guidelines in detail, and some of them are noted on the screen as well. Many of us here do polar science in locations across the United States and beyond internationally, with research focused on both poles and in high alpine regions across the world. And we want to acknowledge that much of that science takes place on the unceded traditional territories and ancestral homelands of Indigenous peoples, and that some of the research done in these locations has historical roots in colonialism. With this land acknowledgement, we celebrate the many contributions of Native peoples to our understanding of the polar regions and recognize the sophisticated and intricate knowledge systems that Indigenous peoples have and continue to develop in relationship to their lands. With that, I will pass it over to Madison.
Thank you. So today you'll be hearing from 16 different polar organizations, not including PSECCO. And folks will be sharing their organization's mission, how each organization is relevant to you as early career researchers, and then ways you can engage with them. So we have time for each organization to share out for about 3 minutes. So in the interest of time, if you have any questions, you can directly message those via the Zoom chat to Mariama, and we can pass those questions along to the relevant organizations to follow up via email after the event. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll be hearing from all these organizations in alphabetical order, and we'll be beginning with the Association of Polar Early Career Scientists.
Thanks, Madison, and hi, everyone. My name is Axel. I'm presenting on behalf of APEX, the Association of Polar Early Career Scientists. We are an international and interdisciplinary network for early career researchers with interests in the polar, so Arctic and Antarctic, and alpine regions and the wider cryosphere. We are a network of over 6,000 members worldwide. Membership is open and free to everyone. You'll get a link on how to join and then be informed of our opportunities in the chat, I hope soon. We run a variety of opportunities ourselves, but most importantly, we also serve as a network and platform for early career polar researchers, where I should say researchers in the broadest sense you can imagine, to connect and also to partner with other organizations. So, for example, for many fellowship or representative positions, we partner with various polar organizations and coordinate that you as early career individuals can engage with those organizations. We are an international network that consists of 32 at the moment national committees, one of which is also in the US. So for those of you that are based in the US, you will hear from Megan, who is presenting on behalf of our US branch later in this event. But it's a combination of activities of like membership-driven, community-based, grassroots-driven initiatives with externally funded projects. We do have an international coordination office, our directorate, that is currently based in Norway, but really is there to serve all the APEX members and activities and national committees that are distributed all over the place. And in general, we inform people of the opportunities they can participate in through our website and our monthly newsletter, and that we pull early career opportunities from various polar organizations and then distribute them on a monthly basis. So if you want to be up to date on how you, as an early career researcher, can engage with polar research coordination and opportunities. That is one of the ways to stay up to date. And then I just also want to point out that earlier this year we had a major collaboration with PSECCO on an event called the Polar Early Career World Summit, which is just as an example of the work we do, trying to advocate for the inclusion of early career perspective in long-term polar research planning. And you'll get a second link to that in the chat. And thanks. That was it for me.
Thank you. So next up, we'll hear from cryo community and vice squads.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Mejia. I run the cryo community website, and that is a current website. It's cryocommunity.org, and it kind of grew out of a lot of different cryospheric scientists coming together in 2021 during the I don't know if everyone remembers the URGE pods, the Unlearning Racism in the Geosciences kind of initiative that kind of swept the field and all of geosciences. But instead of focusing on one institution, what we did was we kind of came together to try to seek how we can improve cryospheric sciences in general. So one thing that we identified was that there was a lack of a lot of resources and a lot of difficulty for those who are kind of outside of the loop finding those resources, and a lot of great organizations that you'll learn about more today are doing a lot of work to share these resources. But what we did was we created this cryo community website in order to spotlight and provide resources to everyone. With the goal of fostering inclusivity within the cryospheric sciences. So we have a lot lists of resources for every single career stage. We also use it to host different initiatives, and we do have a blog post series where we kind of give different tips and things. If anyone is interested in getting involved with cryo community and helping to generate content for the website or blog posts or to run social media, please contact me. And I would love to have more people involved in that. Okay, moving on to Vice Squad. So one thing that grew out of the first cryo community organization was this identifying a need to create an online community where cryospheric researchers that are kind of siloed at many different universities nowadays, where they can kind of come together and create an online space to grow this community. And we really wanted this platform to evolve with community interests and needs. And so to do this, we created this VICE squad. So VICE stands for Virtual Ice Community Engagement Squads. And so if you if you scan this QR code here, you can join this Slack space for VICE squads. And what it is there are a lot of different channels with a huge range of topics, ranging from connecting observations with modeling and glaciology, performing field work, science policy, all different types of squads that have formed and you can join and get involved with. And we really look for people and communities who are interested in some topic, and we want to provide a space for those people to get together and have recurring meetings or meet or in whatever fashion is suitable for them and their needs. So anyone interested in anything ice related is welcome. We have, I think, over 100 members at this point. Again, all career stages. So I invite anyone interested to join. Use that link and then hop on and introduce yourself, browse through the channels and join the ones that you're interested in. We're always looking for people to lead within those. So thanks.
Thanks, Jessica. All right, so next we will hear from IRPIC.
Yeah, thank you, Madison. And thank you to PSECCO for putting on this event and having me. And thank you all for joining. My name is Tony O'Boyle, and I am the Director of Collaboration Team Activities for IARPIC, or the Interagency Arctic Research Policy Committee. And we can go to the next slide. For just a little bit of background, IARPC sits within the White House as part of the National Science and Technology Council. And our main mission, our main task is enhancing research in the Arctic by bringing together federal agencies to coordinate their work. So to do this, we bring together leaders from 18 different agencies, departments, offices across the US federal government. And that work of IARPC is organized around 5-year national Arctic research plans that outline the Arctic research needs and priorities and coordinates federal agency efforts around those issues. So just a quick plug here. Thank you, Mariama put the link to the plan where you can see more information, but the QR code on the screen here is a link to a Federal Register notice. So we are actually in the public input period to inform the development of our next Arctic research plan for 2027 to 2031. And we'd love to hear from you all. So this will take you directly to the notice. There's also a link in the chat where you can submit comments on what you see as the pressing or priority issues where we need federally funded research in the Arctic for those next 5 years. Okay, and the next slide. So while IARPC is a federal organization, addressing obviously the critical issues facing the Arctic and impacting us all can't be accomplished without the support and engagement of the broader Arctic research community and Arctic communities. So to that end, we also run IARPC Collaborations, which this is the website you see on the screen. And it's our platform for building connections and facilitating collaborations both between federal agencies and any non-federal entities with interest in the region. So that's tribes, indigenous organizations, academics, the private sector, nonprofits, anyone who lives or works in the Arctic, both in the US and internationally. So joining our website is an opportunity to engage in a pretty unique federal and non-federal collaborative space where you can find or share jobs, funding opportunities, research papers, resources. We kind of use it as the Facebook of Arctic research. And we have specific teams that you can subscribe to that align with your career interests, including an early career team. And you can also, as positions become available, actually join one of our team or community as a co-leader of the team. Finally, we do have a mentorship program that is hosted in partnership with PSECCO and US Apex. That's for anyone at any career level in the polar research community. We're in a bit of a reshuffling period right now. So if you email me this week with interest, I can maybe get you into a group with the session for this year did start in September. But otherwise, you can use this QR code or a link in the chat to join us at IARPC Collaborations. We would love to have you.
Thanks. All right, next we'll hear from the International Arctic Research Center.
All right, thank you. My name is Emily Lesak, and I am the research coordinator for the International Arctic Research Center, housed at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Our mission is to understand the Arctic to make a difference. We offer interdisciplinary research that is community-centered, and you can engage with us at many upcoming meetings over the next few months. We'll have representatives at AGU, the Alaska Marine Science Symposium, the Alaska Forum, the Arctic Science Summit Week, as well as the Arctic Observing Summit. You're also welcome to email me. My email is on the slide, and I'll also put it in the chat. Also adding in the chat our website where you can learn more about our research centers and topics. Currently, we have 6 postdocs and 30 students at IARC, and those students range from undergraduate to master's and PhD. Part of a core component of our strategic planning is making connections between research and education, as well as fostering a welcome environment for students. And I just wanted to briefly highlight some of the great work that our students are doing, which is depicted in these images on the slide. So at the left, we have 2 of our students collecting salmon in the Chena River. At center, we have one of our graduate students teaching participants at the Yukon River Fisheries Technician Workshop to collect eDNA samples. And at right, we have an undergraduate student who's studying a permafrost chimney near UAF's campus. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Right, next, we'll hear from the International Arctic Science Committee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Federica Scarpa. I'm a IS Communication Manager. IS, the International Arctic Science Committee, is a non-governmental international scientific organization, and our mission is to encourage and facilitate cooperation in all aspects of Arctic research, in all countries engaged in Arctic research, in all areas of the Arctic region. So here it's important for the opportunity that I will introduce briefly today. When we will ask you to be, we will not look at your nationality, but to the country you are affiliated with. So it must be one of the IS country. Now today we have 25 member country to ISC. So the core of the scientific work of ISC is carried by the 5 working group: atmosphere, cryosphere, marine, social and human, and terrestrial working group. So as first thing, I will invite you all to take a look on the ISC website and, get curious and understand what ISC is doing. ISC places a lot of emphasis in involving early career scientists, and the flagship action to involve early career scientists is the ISC Fellowship Program, which was established in 2014 and is meant exactly to engage early career researchers to take in the work of the 5 ISC working groups. So every year we will select at least one fellow per working group, plus an early career Arctic indigenous scholar or knowledge holder, who will choose the working group that is more relevant for them. Unfortunately, the deadline for applying for the fellowship for 2026 has just passed, but please connect with the ISC website to learn more. We will publish a new call every fall, so around September, October, you will have the one for the next year. So, but at the moment, one important opportunity for early career scientists to get involved with IS work is the IS cross-cutting and working group proposal. So this call is open until January 2026. Is a call that to submit a project proposal to fulfill IS aim to foster collaboration and cooperation in Arctic research. And very important here is early career scientists are welcome to submit proposal. We do invite early career scientists to connect with the working group, so to learn more about the program and submit an application. Lastly, I would like to mention IS every year organize an Arctic Science Summit Week. This year will be, in 2026 will be held in Denmark, Aarhus. And very important for the Science Day, there is an open call now for early career scientists to present their research during Science Day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next, we will hear from the International Arctic Social Sciences Association.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noria, and I am with the Secretariat of the International Arctic Social Science Association, which is currently hosted at Ilisimatusavik, the University of Greenland. And IESA is also a platform for networking and distributing relevant news and information in the Arctic social sciences. And every 3 years, we host a very big congress, the International Congress of Arctic Social Sciences, which will be here in Nuuk in May 2027. And more dates and information for that will be announced soon. And you can find our website under the QR code that is on the slide. And then in between the big congresses that we organize, we have a newsletter that we publish twice a year. And you are very welcome to get involved with that. It has all kinds of different contacts. So if you have research that you have published recently, we can present that in there. Or if you have reviews of events that you have participated in or the like. So yeah, you are very welcome to get involved with that. It's called Northern Notes. You can find that on our website as well. Then we have recently started a new initiative. It's the IASA Indigenous Honest Mentorship Program that is specifically for Indigenous early career scholars in the Arctic social sciences. And it is organized by Anita and Tatiana of the ISA Council. You can also find information about that on our website and get in touch with them. It's a very new initiative, but yeah, you're very welcome to get in touch. And then we have a list server that you can sign up to get information that we share and get the newsletter and yeah, get information about the new ICAS. And then we also host working groups in IASA. There's 4 different ones. There's one about gender in the Arctic, one justice, and in the Arctic one about extractive industries, and a working group on reimagining Arctic governance. So if you're interested in any of those topics, you can also find more information about that on our website. And then there's also the contact information for the IASA president, Maria Akren, Elise Matusavik, and my email if you have more questions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Right, next we will hear from the International Cryosphere Climate Initiative.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy. I am the Global Outreach Director at ICCI. The International Cryosphere Climate Initiative is a science policy NGO, and we operate fully virtually with lots of staff members across the world, so we span most time zones. Our mission is to connect senior policy experts and researchers studying cryosphere science with decision makers doing policy at all levels of government to strengthen national climate commitments to lower greenhouse gas emissions. And there's 3 phases to our work. We gather the latest cryosphere science, and then second, we communicate and connect that science with governments at all levels. So this is from the national to the local to the international and the national levels. So any community or body of people that are interested in strengthening decision making, like we're very happy to inform them. We don't try to pigeon ourselves in one specific area. And we also dedicate time and resources to sharing the latest science with the general public and media as well. So communicating these issues and ensuring they're heard and understood by those who live in these impacted regions. Our audience is global, so we cover all cryosphere issues. So we communicate with people from coastal areas inundated by sea level rise or that are facing greater to high mountain regions with depleting glacier meltwater resources, which can be particularly impactful during dry seasons. So we span the world and we try to cover all of the different cryosphere issues from a science policy perspective. And to help make that happen, we released an annual State of the Cryosphere report. Our next one for 2025 is going to be released in a week or 2, which is really coming up. So November 6th would be the release date for that. And this report helps outline these latest impacts in cryosphere science. So what does the latest research over the past year look like? And how can this inform strengthen decision making, and particularly in the COP context, so the Conference of Parties that happens every fall as part of the UNFCCC. And as I mentioned, we cover lots of different cryosphere issues. This includes mountain glaciers and snow, ice sheets, polar oceans, sea ice, and permafrost. So the goal of the report is to help communicate these issues to policy audiences. And we encourage you to use it as a resource and share it widely. And we're also looking to translate it every year. So far, we've translated it into Chinese as well as English, but we're always looking to increase the language breadth. So French would be a priority as well as Spanish. So any early career researchers who are interested or have resources or know people interested in doing that, we're very happy to connect with them. And speaking of early career resources, or early career researchers, we think that your voice is very important in these spaces. You guys are enduring these intergenerational and long-term issues. And as speaking as like an early career person myself, I think it's just very important that we do make sure that climate policy is being communicated, not just by people in policy, but by like younger scientists who are seeing these impacts and are very concerned about them. So getting involved with ICCI, we host a lot of different early career scientist style programs. And these help bring early career researchers into spaces such as Climate Week during New York, during the UN General Assembly. So UNGA, we host a couple events, and then we also during the UNFCCC meetings, so these are the June meetings in Bonn, as well as the COP meetings in November, we host an annual Cryosphere Pavilion. And this is a 2-week effort, as you can see in the bottom right. We host about 70 different side events, so we're always looking for a team of 8 early career researchers to help make sure the events go smoothly, and you also get the opportunity to sit on negotiations. So yeah, I think ICCI is a great way to meaningfully connect with negotiators and strengthen decision making.
Thanks, Amy. All right, next we will hear from the International Glaciological Society Early Career Glaciologist Group.
Thanks, Madison. I hope you can hear me well. Yes, my name is Javier. I'm a member of the committee of the EC group of the International Glaciological Society. That is a group that we are, next slide please, that we are trying to give help the early career, giving the possibility to share their work and trying to increase the connections that they could do to some networking and some events. And we also give some grants to help them travel to different places. As you can read there, we try to focus in topics related with glaciers and ice and snow studies. And next slide, please. This is the current committee. We are from every part of the world. We have people from America to India to Europe and so on. So next slide, please. And this is one of the most important things that could interest the early career. That is the IGS ECCO grant. That is a grant that we can give around £750 to some early careers to travel to different places to cover some costs of going to some events to present their work. We're trying to give this grant 2 times in the year. Now, if I remember correctly, a few weeks ago, the second round ended. So now we are reviewing and we are trying to have the results in November. And you can have all the information in the webpage that is during the presentation, igs.org. And next slide, please. And you can also have some updates that with some dates about when you can start applying for the grant or the seminars that we are also doing some series with the IGS. So giving the opportunity to early careers to present their work. We also have some forms so you can fill and trying to get a spot there and show all your work. You can also follow us in Twitter. We also have a Blue account. No, it's Blue Sky account, yes. And we also have some mailing list to have all the news. Next slide, please. So you are more than welcome to involve with us, applying for the grants and the seminars. We are also trying to increase the activities that we do with early careers. So if you have ideas or things you think can help to early careers to do more networking, please don't hesitate to send an email or write me some message to me or some of the committee. So I think that's all.
Thank you. All right, next we'll hear from the Permafrost Young Researchers Network.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie Arpin. I'm the president of the Permafrost Young Researchers Network, and I'm also a PhD student in engineering here at Queen's University in Canada. The goal of our organization is to build a network to foster collaboration, networking, and learning among early career researchers who are involved in permafrost science and engineering. So it's a little bit more specified into those that are doing work directly related to permafrost. But in this space, we do several different things. So we host a variety of webinars for topics ranging from more about learning about modeling to learning about fieldwork planning and safety. We also host workshops at conferences. So the next one will be at the upcoming Asian Conference on Permafrost, which is in 2026 in Mongolia. So if anyone is thinking about being in attendance at that conference, we encourage you to also come out to the Early Career Researcher Day that will happen the day prior to the conference starting. And then we also host regional events and we provide funding for those as well. So if you're interested in getting involved on a regional level, please reach out and we're happy to chat more about providing funding to do more local events. We have a mailing list, so we send out updates on different permafrost items and a monthly newsletter. So we also have a QR code up on the screen, and if you scan and join that, it'll take you to our website, which we're currently working on. And you can join our mailing list as well as find all of our social media. But yes, if you're interested in permafrost science and engineering, it's a great organization to be a part of. And if you join our mailing list, you'll get all of the updates and new news that's coming out of that space. Yes, so that's all I have to say. Thank you, PSECCO, again for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. So next we'll hear from PSECCO.
Hey everyone. So PSECCO, or the Polar Science Early Career Community Office, has its mission focused on empowering and elevating early career scientists in the polar sciences, supporting a vibrant community, and with that, providing opportunities and resources along with skill trainings, and then working together as a community to build a more welcoming polar science environment for everyone involved in it. The way I thought I could logically walk folks through this is by walking through different tabs of the website, which I think is a useful resource for early career researchers. And the first one that I thought might be relevant is to learn how to learn about polar early career opportunities that we put on through PSECCO. You can do that by subscribing to the PSECCO newsletter or listserv. And also on the Connect tab of the PSECCO website, you can learn about many of the organizations on this call and others who weren't able to join us today. There's a pretty extensive list on that Connect with Polar or Polar Adjacent Organizations tab that walks you through the landscape of early career and polar support organizations. We also run lots of events in service of the part of our mission focused on providing opportunities, resources, and skill trainings. And these professional development workshops and webinars are focused on topics that come from the early career community itself and the needs that have been expressed to us within the community. One other thing that has been really exciting that we've launched over the past 3.5 years is a resources page. And that page includes things like sharing polar education materials and freely available lectures, workshops, labs from different polar topics that you might not be familiar with but might be interested in as it relates to your research. So you can check those out. And we've also heard from the early career community that there's a need for understanding what careers exist outside of the classic academic route. And so we have a feature of polar careers outside of academia also on the resource page of our website, along with early career specific researcher or resources rather. We have an opportunities landing page different to our resources and events pages too, where we share funding opportunities as they're available. And those include need-based conference travel funding, the next solicitation for which will be released in the spring. We also have administrative support funding for early career organizations, and you can learn more about that by reaching out directly to PSECCO at colorado.edu. And we have gear discounts to lower the barrier of entry to folks going to do field work, where finances might restrict the type of gear you're able to get. And finally, you can collaborate and support PSECCO in any proposals you write.
Thanks, Mariama. Right, next, we'll hear from Polar STEAM.
Excellent. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Melissa Barker, the Outreach and Engagement Lead for the Polar STEAM program, and I'm excited to share a little bit about our collaborations. On the slide, you can see the faces of our current researcher fellows, so maybe you'll recognize some folks. Polar STEAM is an NSF-funded program that facilitates field and virtual collaborations between researchers, educators, and artists and writers with the goal of broadening the reach of polar science. As a Polar STEAM Researcher Fellow, you can expect a collaboration with an exceptional professional with whom you'll build a meaningful relationship over the year-long collaboration period. Networking opportunities, you'll join a cohort of 15 to 20 other polar researchers, ranging from graduate students to seasoned professionals. This offers the opportunity to learn, network, and share advice and experience. For field collaborations, our educators are expected to fully engage in the research, participating in the data collection and being part of the science team. Polar's team does all the legwork to coordinate their travel and to coordinate and to fund their travel for the educators and the artists. And then finally, we can help elevate your broader impacts. So your research is fascinating and people should hear about it. Whether collaborating virtually or in the field, you'll be working with an expert who can help translate your research and create innovative ways to share your work with new learners and audiences. Past partnerships have created polar science activities and curriculum for science, math, social studies, creative writing, and art classes that are all shared publicly for free on our website. To be eligible, you need to have NSF funding for work in the Arctic, which does include all of Alaska, or the Antarctic regions. This includes working with data from these regions that was or is NSF funded. We work with, as I mentioned before, all career stages, graduate students, postdocs, early career, and established polar researchers. We really love the energy and enthusiasm that our early career researchers bring to our cohort and to the collaborations. It's been super fun to work with early career researchers. Currently, we are finished recruiting for the 2026 season, but we'll begin recruiting again for in the spring and summer for the following year. You can click the QR code and there should be some links in the chat that will help you get to all of our resources. And we will be at AGU, so feel free to stop by and say hello. If you're around, we are presenting a few oral sessions. A bunch of our fellows will be there. And it'll be really exciting. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Melissa. All right, next we will be hearing from the Scientific Committee for Antarctic Research, or SCAR.
Thanks, Madison, and thanks to PSECCO for setting up this meeting. It's a great opportunity to share. My name's Owen Griffin. I'm the Executive Officer at SCAR, and one of my responsibilities is for capacity building, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But to start with, the mission for SCAR basically is to initiate, develop, and coordinate research in the Antarctic and Southern Ocean regions. And so we have 46 member countries, and we're looking to add value to what those countries are all doing individually as national programs. The way that we do that is mainly through our disciplinary groups. And so if you visit the SCAR website, you'll see that we cover just about every research topic you can think of. However, if you don't find a home for yourself on the website, do think about applying to set up a SCAR group. We want our groups to reflect how research is being conducted right now. And so it's healthy for us to have a turnover of the groups that we actually have within the SCAR umbrella. We bring our community together every 2 years at the SCAR Open Science Conferences. And last year in Chile, in Pucón, we had nearly 1,500 people attend. Over 40% of those were early career researchers. So we're really looking forward to next year's Open Science Conference. That's going to be in Oslo in August. And the abstract submission for that, should be opening relatively soon. The other part of SCAR's mission is to provide objective and independent advice in various policy fora, primarily the Antarctic Treaty System, but also IPCC and UNFCCC, notably in collaboration with ICCI, who we've heard about earlier, and other fora, as I said. We can advance the slide. So in terms of our capacity building programs, we have several schemes that run annually. So that's the fellowships and visiting scholars. So our early career fellowships, you need to be either a PhD student or within 5 years of finishing your PhD. You need to go to a SCAR member country, but you can apply from any from any country. And we give out 5 or 6 fellowships each year. One is funded by the Prince Albert of Monaco Foundation. and we thank them for that through the Polar Initiative. The scholarships is aimed more at mid to late career researchers, and both of those schemes are closed for 2025. They'll open in March or April 2026 next year. Medal nominations for 2026 are going to be opening soon, so we would encourage everybody to think about mentors or colleagues who they think represent excellence in research, international coordination, education, and communication, and think about making a nomination. There are other opportunities. You can find them all on the website through our individual discipline groups, and we have a new webinar series starting up. I'll send a link in the chat for that. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, next we'll hear from the United States Association of Polar Early Career Scientists, or USAPEX.
So much. So I'm Megan Shaberg, and I am one of the co-chairs for US APEX. We are a national committee of APEX, which we heard about from Axel earlier, and we got started in 2014. Largely, our focus is to build community and professional development opportunities for early career researchers who are based in the United States. You do not need to be a citizen, but you do need to be working at a US-based institution to participate on our board. And our board is made up of early career researchers from all different stages, from undergrad through early faculty, postdoc, and researchers post PhD. And we predominantly do our work focused in project groups. The four listed here are some of our primary groups, but you can see all of our project groups on our website. The IDEA, or Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility team, focuses largely on learning opportunities for our board focused on those topics, but also those principles guide how we act and plan all of our activities through US APEX. One of our biggest events, our biggest international event, is the Polar Film Festival, which is coming up in March of next year. And you all should see that call going out very soon. So if you have films that you want to submit, please do consider and share with people that you know who might be interested. And it's not strictly science-based, although you can make a film about the research that you do, but it's open to kind of any topic highlighting the polar and cryospheric sciences. In the last year, we've put together a peer-reviewed article about the history of our organization, as we've been around for a little over 10 years now, as well as the challenges that we've run into and how we are moving forward. So you can find that on our website or using this QR code. We have really enjoyed putting all of these things together, and each term we have new people coming in, joining our board. You can also join our membership, and we do send out a lot of our communications largely over social media on Blue Sky and LinkedIn predominantly. But we're always looking for people who are interested in these topics, and we have enjoyed collaborating with a lot of the organizations that are on this call, as well as those who are not able to make it today. So contact me or get in touch through our website or social media if you're interested in engaging. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Megan. Okay, next we'll hear from the US Permafrost Association.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Ward-Jones. I'm on the board of directors of the U.S. Permafrost Association, or the USPA. Our mission is really to disseminate knowledge and support researchers as well as engineers, anyone that's within related to permafrost work. We work closely with the International Permafrost Association as well as PERN. And so we are the US branch. There's many other different countries. We have existed for about 23 years, and a big part of our mission is also to support early career researchers. Our main way that we do that has been our awards, grants and awards. Last year, we gave about over $10,000 to about 13 different awards across our programs. And if you look at the CVs of researchers or engineers in the permafrost sciences that are largely based in the US, they typically have had these awards funded earlier in their career. And so it's nice to see this longevity within our association. And so The UPEF, that's the USPA PERN Education Fund. And the PEEP is the Permafrost Engineering Education Program. And so those two programs fund travel to AGU as well as permafrost focus events such as the upcoming Asian Permafrost Conference. The Andrew Slater Memorial Award supports permafrost modeling. The Irv Long Memorial Award supports engineering. And the Family Care Program Caregiver Awards supports all career stages. I chair this program. And so we support fieldwork, any kind of work travel related expensive up to $500. And we have given 4 awards so far, 3 of which have gone to early career researchers, a PhD student, and 2 postdocs. And so also within the USPA, we have various events and trainings. And so whereas the awards are specifically for US-based members at US-based institutions or companies, our events are opened to anyone. So we do the AGU annual meeting, which provides networking opportunities. We typically do an AGU mentoring lunch where early career researchers can sign up to have lunch with mentors, volunteer mentors. And I actually had a PhD student from Canada that joined me last year or 2 years ago. We have various workshops. So the field safety workshop this past year we had with Advanced Geo, we did a bystander intervention training workshop. And then monthly, we've been doing these technical training webinars. And if you are an engineer, you can actually get these hours to go for professional development hours. You need to kind of buy an annual membership. We have different memberships. And so it's $15 a year if you're a student, $60 a year if you are not a student. But these really help support our travel awards, all of our programmings, the AGU meeting where we provide food and beverages. And if you are at AGU, please come and network with us and participate. And yes, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we'll be hearing from US SCAR.
Hello there. Thank you for the invitation. Actually, this is a fabulous gathering where you really get to see what's going on, and I'm also getting a little quiz on all the acronyms here, so it's great. My name's Al Weatherwax. I'm at MIT, and I am the U.S. delegate for SCAR. We heard a very nice overview of SCAR a few talks back, and what we are is the U.S. conduit to SCAR. So the U.S. SCAR office is the focal point for the U.S. participation in the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research. It's overseen by the National Academy's Polar Research Board, serves as our national committee to SCAR, and the U.S. Antarctic scientific community is represented broadly by our team. And so why early career scientists would you be interested in this? Probably one of the biggest things is I have money to give away for people to travel to the SCAR meetings, which I believe I did this, I would say 40 years ago when I was an earlier career scientist, and it allowed me to set up relationships with researchers that you sometimes don't see at some of the smaller meetings. Truly international group of people attend the SCAR conferences, and it's a great way to set up lifetime networks of researchers. So I've personally benefited from it. And coming up, as it was mentioned before, there's the SCAR meeting is an open science conference, and it's going to be in Norway this year. And what you will see from the U.S. SCAR office for the U.S. People out there, grants to travel to this meeting. So I would encourage you to join the mailing list and keep your eyes open. And once the abstracts are open, we will have funding and really try to promote early career scientist to go to these to the SCAR meeting, which again, it's a fabulous meeting. So that will be my job. And if you get on our site too, the other thing we have is, and this was led by Deneb Karans, who just stepped down as the delegate, a fabulous series of interviews with more senior researchers and junior researchers and how they interacted over the years. So I would really take a look at our website at that series of interviews. It's really fabulous. It's kind of when you're starting out in your scientific career. But look for opportunities for support. Join the mailing list for US SCAR, and I think you'll really, we have a lot to offer the Antarctic and the overall polar research community. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, next, we'll hear from the Women in Polar Science Network.
Thank you very much. I just started my timer here. Thank you so much for inviting me to this this event. For decades, the story of polar exploration and science has been almost exclusively male. But I think today the landscape is changing. And for the next 3 minutes, I want to introduce you to Women in Polar Science, or WIPS, an organization that 3 of my colleagues and I founded to actively reshape the polar community. What is WIPS? It began in 2014 very much as a grassroots network. We started it because we saw a critical need for a dedicated community. Our mission is simple but powerful: to connect women working in the Arctic and Antarctic research, to support them professionally and personally, and to inspire the next generation for taking up polar research. Today, WIPS is a thriving global community with more than 10,000 individuals that are connected through our various social media platforms, and that makes a central hub for sharing stories, experiences, and opportunities. But why was a network like this so essential? We had to understand the historical context a little bit. For most of the 20th century, women were actively excluded from polar science. While the rules have changed, the culture was slow to catch up. And this is where WIPS made its first and perhaps the most significant impact. I'm incredibly proud to say that WIPS were one of the very first organizations that brought the issues of equality, diversity, and inclusion, or EDI, to the table in the polar world. We started these difficult but necessary conversations on a global level. Since a few years ago, we have now pushed the community to move beyond just gender and to also address intersectionality, recognizing that the barriers faced by a woman of color, a scientist from the LGBTQ community, or a researcher with a disability are different and compounded. We make it clear that inclusion must include everyone. Another of our achievements is increasing visibility. We created and ran the 100 Polar Women campaign, which was funded by the Curtis and Edith Munson Foundation and the Ocean Foundation. We didn't just leave this online, we also turned these profiles into physical poster exhibitions, which we have taken to conferences all over the world. We ran an interview series to share some more personal stories. Our first 100 Polar Women campaign was so successful that we have had a second campaign of another 100 women's profiles. And I'm happy to announce today that we will launch the third tranche of this campaign starting as of December the 1st this year. Another key area is moving from advocacy to direct integration and influence. We are now at the table where decisions are made. We are active members of the EDI action groups for both SCAR and SUS, and also represent the community on the Standing Committee for Gender Equality in Science. And we also take part in large-scale EU-funded projects like Arctic Passion and Ocean Ice. I think I would like to thank SCAR particularly, as they have hosted us fiscally and provide us with organizational support for all our fundraising activities through the last many, many years. So thank you very much. And I call on all of you. We are actively building a more equitable, intersectional, and global inclusive future for polar science. We hope all of you will join us in our efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right, and finally, we'll hear from women in the Arctic and Antarctic.
Thank you for inviting me to participate here today. This is an opportunity not just for early career scholars, but in fact for all of your organizations. So what our organization, or what I call an initiative, does, it helps to provide a free service because many of us have many demands on our time and our financial resources, particularly research-related resources, to help to raise people's profile, particularly at an early career level when you might be in a situation where you're transitioning from your institution where you're finishing up your studies and then losing the ability to market yourself professionally. So the Women in the Arctic and Antarctic provides opportunities for early career and all career academic and non-academic individuals who have experience working in the circumpolar north and Antarctica. We advertise the profiles and the different information that we gather from individuals through our social media and our website through profiles. We also provide an opportunity for people to highlight the work that they're doing. So following up, talking about lessons learned from doing field work, highlighting research and key outputs and things that they have on the go. But the key is just to reach out and help us to highlight the work that you're doing. It's a free service. It's meant to make things more accessible because many of us are in situations where our ability to travel, for whether it be for health, financial, or logistics reasons, are limited. So the ability to advertise all the initiatives that people have presented here today and the different works and things that you're doing and the different opportunities that your organizations offer, please reach out. We're happy to highlight it and to work with you to raise the profile of that. But we're a predominantly online-based initiative at the moment, and we've been around since 2018. And we hope to continue our work and to continue highlighting what other people are doing, as well as the work that you all are doing as organizations, but also as individual scholars and representatives working in various spaces. So this is open to early career scholars, but also to all of you who presented here today in your organizations. If you're looking for ways to increase the profile of, say, a number of you mentioned funding mechanisms you have, when it comes time for deadlines or announcing them, please reach out. We're happy to raise the profile of them. So you can follow us on X, Blue Sky, and Facebook. Facebook we're not particularly active on, but please reach out or reach out to us through our website. So thank you very much for having us here today.
Thank you so much. And with that last presentation, I guess I'd like to say thank you again for everybody who joined us today. And we hope that you were all able to get a sense of all the different resources that are available to you. And also want to note that there are even more organizations beyond those on this call. And you can find some of those on our website at the link that Karina just posted. So I'll pass it over to Mariama.
Yes. I just want to note we have some wonderful opportunities coming up for additional events. And you can access all of these events and learn how to register for them on the events page of our website. And we'll be sure to share the links that were shared in the chat with everyone on the call after, along with any answers to questions that you might have sent directly to us in the chat today. That'll all be posted on on the event page of the PSECCO website for this specific event under past events. So you should be no worries if you haven't been furiously clicking as we've been posting things in the chat that should be sent to you by email and then also available on our website. If you're not already connected to the PSECCO community Slack or subscribe to the newsletter, you can access those things at the link that Karina just posted in the chat. And we hope you found this useful. We'd really love your feedback on the event. So if you can fill out the post-event survey that Karina also just posted in the chat, it'd be much appreciated. Thanks so much again for coming to this overview of polar organizations. And we hope it's useful to everyone on the call for understanding how to navigate the acronym-rich landscape that exists in polar science. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day wherever you are.